On the roulette table, the interplay of red and black, the cycle of numbers, always stirs the primal urge for battle deep within the human heart. Countless people arrive with dreams and leave with emptiness, always believing they lack luck. But that's not the case. They lack a method to harness luck, a wisdom to charge forward in good times and lie low in bad ones. Today, we won't discuss academic theories requiring vast capital or complex calculations. Instead, we'll focus on a high-octane blitz tactic, a ferocious strategy that gives your $5 a shot at reaching a $1,200 goal in just a few rounds. I call it the triple pass. This approach isn't about grinding out steady wins. Its essence lies in using minimal cost to seize a victory that can shift the tide of battle, like a surprise attack on the battlefield, unleashed with precision, aiming straight for the dragon's heart. The core logic of this tactic is to use the casino's money to pave your path to massive rewards, structured in 3 distinct stages, each a leap toward greater profits. Let's assume your single chip is worth $5. The first stage is foundation. Beyond red-black or odd-even bets, the most straightforward area on the roulette table is the 3 dozen zones, each covering 12 numbers. To boost your initial hit rate, you bet on 2 zones simultaneously, say the first dozen and the second dozen, placing a $5 chip on each for a total of $10. If the result lands in any of those 24 numbers, you win. The payout is 2-to-1. Your $10 bet returns $15, netting you a $5 profit. This step, though modest in gains, is critical. It provides the first round of ammunition for your assault and serves as an initial probe of the table's flow. If you lose the first round, don't panic. It's normal. No general wins every battle. Stay calm, repeat the first step, and remember, our goal is to secure a pass with minimal loss. Once you successfully claim that $15 chip stack, congratulations, you've cracked open the first gate. Next comes the second stage, ride the wave. This tests your courage and vision. You take all $15 you just won and, as a single unit, bet it all on the dozen zone you believe is most likely to hit. Yes, you heard that right, all $15 on one zone. At this moment, you're no longer risking your own money. You're using the casino's profits to chase even bigger gains. If this bet hits, your $15 instantly become $45. From an initial $10 investment to a $45 return, your capital has more than quadrupled, and your own pocket remains untouched. That's the essence of Ride the Wave, using the enemy's weapons to storm their fortress. Of course, the failure rate here is much higher than in the first stage. There's a 2/3 chance you'll lose those $15. But understand this, those $15 were spoils of war. If you lose them, you're just back to square one, and your mindset must remain unshaken. A mature player must accept the give and take of profits, as it's the necessary cost of chasing bigger rewards. Now, with $45 in spoils, you stand before the final, most thrilling stage. Seize the crown. This step decides whether you'll rise to glory or return to the starting line. Conventional wisdom might urge you to pocket the $45 and walk away. But the heart of the triple pass lies in the madness of this final gamble. From those $45, you pull out $35 as your final cannonball for the assault. The remaining $10 go back in your pocket, ensuring that, no matter the outcome of this last round, your initial capital is safe and you're invincible. How do you use those $35? This is where your personal style and read of the game shine. The most extreme, high-reward approach is to place all $35 on a single number you feel strongly about. A single number on the roulette table pays 35-to-1. If you hit, those $35 transform into $1,225, plus the $10 in your pocket, totaling $1,235. From $5 to $1,200 in a single moment, that's the metamorphosis. Of course, hitting a single number is a long shot, more like a wild gamble. For steadier veterans, they might choose to spread the $35 across multiple bets. You can check the table's recent hot numbers, pick 5 to 7, and distribute the chips evenly, say, $5 on each of 7 numbers. While hitting one number yields only $175, far less dramatic than a single number bet, your odds of winning are 7 times higher. You're trading some of the potential for sky-high returns for a better chance at substantial gains. There's no right or wrong here. It depends on your read of the situation and your risk tolerance. Do you choose to be the all-in warlord or the general spreading firepower? That's the allure of roulette. In my own experience testing this strategy, I've lived through this emotional journey. My first bet on 24 zones, $10, landed on 9 red, outside my chosen areas. A rough start. That's normal. The roulette wheel doesn't bend to your strategy. I calmly repeated the first step. This time, the ball landed on 31, and I won, pocketing $15. Without hesitation, I pushed all $15 onto the second dozen, my heart racing with the spinning wheel. When the ball settled on 17 black, I knew I'd cleared the second stage. $45 in chips sat before me. For the final step, I opted for a pragmatic approach, eyeing the scoreboard's 5 hottest numbers and spreading my $35 across them. In that moment, the world seemed to hush, leaving only the crisp sound of the ball dancing on the wheel. It landed just shy of my chosen numbers, missing the jackpot, but as I left with $10 in my pocket, I felt no regret. I'd executed my plan fully, experienced the journey from foundation to near pinnacle, and walked away intact. This triple pass strategy isn't a guaranteed win formula. It's more an art of money management and a discipline for mental resilience. It forces you to maximize profits in good times with courage, rather than settling for small gains. It also sets a clear stop-loss line. Failure costs only your initial small stake. Its greatest value lies in using a disciplined process to tame the gambler's worst demons: greed and fear. It ensures every bet at the table is purposeful, with advances and retreats calculated. You're not blindly fighting probability. You're waging a planned, targeted blitz. Remember, the real enemy in the casino isn't the dealer or the machine. It's you. Only those who master their emotions and stick to discipline can stand firm in this red and black battlefield, savoring the thrill of turning small stakes into big wins. Now, let's unveil the mysterious triple pass protocol, dissecting its precise and audacious structure step by step. As the name suggests, it consists of 3 tightly linked stages, each building on the last, interconnected and indispensable. Before starting, you must set your ammunition unit. For clarity, we'll stick with the classic setup. 1 unit equals $5. Stage 1, Foundation. This is the starting point, aiming to secure initial capital for the main assault without loss. You place 2 units, $10, on any 2 of the 3 dozen zones, dozen bets. For example, $5 on the first dozen, numbers 1 to 12, and $5 on the second dozen, numbers 13 to 24. This covers 24 of the 38 numbers on the wheel, giving you a 63% hit rate. As long as the result isn't in the third dozen, 0 or double 0, you win. The payout is 2 to 1. Your winning $5 bet returns $15, minus the $5 lost on the other zone, leaving a total return of $15 and a $5 profit. Jacob, the strategist behind this, emphasizes choosing dozen bets over red, black, or odd even because the 2 to 1 payout provides a whole number, impactful chip base for the second stage. The psychological value here outweighs the monetary gain. It's about securing a high probability win to build confidence and test the table's flow. Jacob once observed a nervous young man in a late-night Las Vegas casino, clearly a first-timer with less than $200 to his name. After hesitating at a roulette table, he pulled out $10 and followed Jacob's method from a column, betting on 24 zones. The wheel spun, the ball landed, and he won. Though it was just a $5 profit, his eyes gained a spark of calm. He'd found his first foothold of courage. Failure, though, is common. If the first bet loses, the protocol demands absolute calm and a mechanical repeat of the process. But Jacob's rules include an ironclad principle. If you fail foundation 3 times in a row, it signals bad table luck or timing. You must immediately abandon the plan and leave the casino. Those $30 are your maximum cost for this blitz. Knowing when to stop is the first divide between a gambler and a strategist. Stage 2, Ride the wave. Once you've secured that $15, the protocol shifts to its most critical human testing phase. You must take the entire $15 as a single, indivisible unit and bet it on one of the 24 zones. At this point, you're no longer risking your own money. You're using the casino's spoils to aim for a higher target. This is pure war-funded war. Jacob calls this step the leap of courage. Many, after winning the first stage, are content with the $5 profit, pocketing it and restarting the first step. That seems prudent but betrays the blitz's purpose, slipping back into the casino's slow grind. A true executor sees not the $15 in hand, but its potential to become $45. As for choosing the dozen zone, there's plenty of folklore. Some chase hot zones that hit frequently. Others bet on cold zones overdue for a win. Jacob scoffs at this. On a perfectly engineered roulette wheel, every spin is an independent random event. Mathematically, the choice of zone doesn't matter. The key isn't the choice, but the execution. The resolve to push out that $15 stack is what unlocks the stage. When you make that move, you transform from a casual tourist to a bold challenger. The table's atmosphere shifts subtly. The dealer might glance at you. Nearby players might pause their chatter. Your action declares your intent. If the stage succeeds, your $15 become $45, a 350% profit from your initial $10 stake. More importantly, you've amassed enough ammunition for the final assault. If you fail, nothing happens. You lose profits that weren't yours to begin with. Your original capital is untouched. You return to the first stage and rebuild. Accepting the ebb and flow of profits is the path to becoming a seasoned player. Stage 3, seize the crown. With $45 in chips, you're at victory's doorstep. Now it's time for the final charge. Before proceeding, the protocol has one unbreakable rule. From the $45, take 2 units, $10, and immediately, without hesitation, pocket them. This move is the soul of the protocol. It ensures that, regardless of the final outcome, you've recovered your initial capital. You're untouchable. The remaining $35 are your arsenal for seize the crown. How you deploy them is the most artistic, personality-defining part of the protocol. Jacob outlines 2 distinct schools of thought. The first, dubbed the sniper approach, is the purest, most extreme, and potentially miraculous method. You place all $35 on a single number. This is almost performance art, an ultimate act of conviction. When that $35 stack towers on a single numbers grid, it draws every eye at the table. You're betting not just on luck, but on a statement. If fate smiles and the ball lands in that grid, the 35-to-1 payout turns your $35 into $1,225. Add the $10 in your pocket and you've got $1,235, a 120-fold leap from your initial $10, achieved in mere seconds. Jacob once witnessed this in Monte Carlo's casino. A young American student, with clumsy but resolute movements, followed the sniper method, betting on 17 because it was his girlfriend's birthday. When the ball settled on 17 black, the room fell silent, then erupted in thunderous applause and gasps. That young man, in the most romantic way, achieved an epic wealth leap. But this approach's odds are slim, only 1 in 38. It's for born adventurers, dreamers chasing the ultimate thrill. The second, called the artillery barrage approach, is more rational, balancing probability and reward. Instead of pinning hopes on one number, you spread your $35 cannonballs across a carefully constructed fire network. A common method is chasing hot numbers, checking the scoreboard for the 5 to 7 most frequent recent numbers and evenly distributing your $35 across them. Say, $5 on each of 7 numbers. This boosts your hit rate 7-fold. A single hit yields only $175, $5 times 35, far less dramatic than the sniper, but with a much higher chance of walking away with solid profits. Jacob also mentions a more advanced tactic, sector betting, like Voisins du Zero or Tiers du Cylindre in European roulette. Even in American roulette, seasoned players might create a neighbors combo, betting on a core number and its adjacent numbers on the wheel to form a fire cluster. This trades some of the potential for maximum returns for a higher probability of victory. It suits calmer, goal-oriented realists. Jacob knew an elderly Las Vegas regular who swore by the artillery barrage. Every weekend, she brought $100 and strictly followed the protocol, always covering 7 numbers in the 3rd stage. Often, she left empty-handed, but every month or 2, she'd hit, pocketing $175, enough to cover her costs, enjoy a lavish dinner, and catch a show. For her, the protocol wasn't about getting rich, but about adding anticipation and joy to her retirement. Whether you choose sniper or artillery, you must adhere to a core principle of seize the crown. Win or lose, this is the end. If your $35 miss, your mission is complete. Walk away with the $10 in your pocket, having fought a full campaign without losing your capital. If you hit, Whether it's $1,200 or $175, you must stop immediately. Cash out and leave. Jacob once shared a cautionary tale of an executor who, using the artillery barrage, won a decent sum in the third stage, but victory clouded his judgment, and he ignored the protocol's iron rule. Greedy, he thought, if luck's this good, why not keep going? He took part of his winnings and restarted the triple pass. Within half an hour, he'd lost all his profits and his initial capital. His failure wasn't strategic, it was a collapse of discipline. When someone believes they can override the rules, they've already sown the seeds of their downfall.